simplify each expression. This time we notice we're dividing. So if you're dividing, we won't simplify until we're multiplying. Okay? And in A, so how do we, right? We keep the first one the same, change to multiplying, and then flip the second one. Now, this 7n is squared. What does it mean when something is squared? It means repeat multiplication. And sometimes life is going to be easier for you, especially if there's two things like that. I'm just going to actually write it as 7n times 7n, because that's the same thing as 7n squared. Notice how that's different than on the top. On the top you have 7n cubed. Do you notice there the 7 is not cubed? But on the bottom with the brackets, the 7 is part of being squared. Now that we're multiplying, the very first thing, I'll always take out a red pen for doing what's obvious. I would probably do that first. There's a 7 on the top, identical with a 7 on the bottom. I would cancel that out. Nothing else is identical. So I'm going to put my red pen away. Maybe I would look at numbers next. Okay? On the top I have a 12. Does that simplify with a 7 or a 4? Yes, it simplifies with a 4. Now, there's a couple ways we could go about doing this. Okay? Some people might do it this way. They stroke out the 12, they stroke out the 4, and change it to a 3 and a 1. That's perfectly fine. You just have to remember that the negative is still there. So some people, maybe, depends what you like. I'm going to just erase this little 3 for now and move this. No, not moving that whole line away. Yes, look at this. Move that line. Erase this line. Move the line back. And this time, maybe I cancel the negative and the 12 out and replace it with a negative 3. Just so that the negative stayed with the 3. Sometimes if that negative is off to the side, you might forget it. And a lot of this unit is just about how well can you pay attention. We're going to check how well you can pay attention. If we don't pay attention and we're messy, we're going to lose a lot of marks very quickly, very easily. If we do pay attention to detail, things are going to go well for us. Right? That's why I'm using different colors, so that, one, you can see what I did if you weren't paying attention for a second. Be like, oh, the purple goes with the purple, which is a good thing. And also to keep things neat. Because if you start getting messy, you'll be like, oh my goodness, there's some sort of disaster happened with this question. Did I get the right answer? Can Mr. JR give me marks for work? Because I did a whole bunch of like oh, I looks like I did stuff, but is any of it right? Can he tell? Because I wrote the wrong answer. So what happened? So we got to be careful in what we're doing. Anything else? I'm going to switch to green here. I have variables that are the same on the top and the bottom. I have 2 n's here, and if they cancel that with 2 of the n's on the top, that would leave me an exponent of 1. Now we have to pick up the pieces. What is left? In my numerator, what's left is that there is 1 n and a negative 3. So in numbers, there's a negative 3 left, and there's an n left. Can you see how dangerous it would be if your red line through your 7 was off just a little bit? You might have thought the n was gone. We have to be careful. It's like, oh, I just stroked out the 7. Yeah, and a bunch of other collateral damage. So we have to be careful to see what's left. Sometimes people don't cancel everything at once. You do it in steps. You're like, cancel a little bit, rewrite it neatly. Cancel a little bit more, rewrite it neatly. That's good for you. Perfect. Do you think you can cancel a whole bunch of stuff and keep it organized? Perfect. What am I left on the bottom? Numbers. I'm left with a 1 times a 7, which is a 7. Variables. Gone, gone. Just a 7. And non-permissible values. n can't equal 0, right? Because if I highlight, if I just look where I'm dividing, just have an n on the bottom. Okay, part B. Now rewrite it. It is already factored, which is nice. Oops. Oh, gotta be careful. Pay attention. Don't make mistakes rewriting things like I almost did. Change it to multiplying, which means I put this to 3x times x plus 5 is now in my numerator, and on the bottom, 10 times x minus 3. I would take out my red pen first. Anything identical, it's all multiplying. So if there's anything identical, I'm allowed to simplify and cancel. X minus 3, choo, choo, cancels out there. Ooh, an x, choo, choo, those would cancel out. Yeah, making the Star Wars noise makes it way more fun. You can do that while you're doing your homework. Anything else identical? No. Are there any numbers, though, that could be simplified? Take out purple. 5 over 2, no. 3 over 10, no. 5 over 10, yes. The 5 and the 10, that could reduce to 1/2. 3 over 2, no. It looks like I've got everything that I could simplify. You're not sure, though, so when you rewrite it, you're going to always double check your answer. Is there more I could have done? But sometimes by rewriting it, it just cleans things up, makes it easier to see. So on the top, am I left with numbers? 1 and times 3, that'll be a 3. On the top, am I left with any factors or variables? I'm left with the x plus 5. In my denominator, am I left with numbers? Yes, 2 times 2, that's a 4. And variables, x is gone, the x minus, yep, no factors are left. So I just have 3x plus 5 over 4. Now I'm going to double check. Can the 3 over 4 be reduced? No. Is there any factors that are identical? No. So we are technically done. Now I'm going to go and write my non-permissible values. And I'm going to make a mistake. Just a little mistake. So I'm going to highlight, okay, here's where I'm dividing. First one, x can't equal 0. Second one, I'm dividing, the bottom would be 0 if x was 3. So x can't equal 3. Now I didn't make a mistake in anything I wrote, but if you look at the answer at the bottom, I'm missing something. What am I missing?
In the original division, there's another permissible value.
Yeah, so sometimes, like this is why I say, when you go through these, highlight where you're dividing. I should have also highlighted that I'm dividing here and here. But when you flip that one, then it doesn't show up as dividing anymore. But it would still be a non-permissible value. X can't equal -5. Not because the numerator would be 0. Numerators can be 0. But just because originally it was in a denominator. We have to check everywhere that we're dividing for our non-permissible values. Okay, 1's to circle here. Now you can circle 4 and 5b, 6c and d, and 11b.